Thomas, it's the weekend. It is great to see you out there. I'm not actually here twice, but I was having some sort of delay with my main feed right up. Where's that? Right up there? Nope, right up there. Right up there. That's where it is. So my audio's coming in over there. My video's coming in down here. Background's gone. Here's my green screen. This is actually what the courtroom looks like without all the effects.
That's literally what the green screen looks like.
That is a court of public opinion. That's it right there. It's a vast court, huge room. It's got whole wings behind me. It's incredible.
At least we get to see what the bookshelf looks like, because we always hear you reaching for books in the bookshelf, and now we get to see the bookshelf. You're not lying, and it's full of books.
And I tipped it up so you can't see my rows of empty bottles and all the dirty Recovery Addict mugs.
Tisk.
Oh man, no, there's one bottle there and two mugs, but yeah, it's crazy. We're trying to do verdict watch. I don't know how to do this. Let's see if I put this on camera too.
Yeah. So for some in chat, the red light, the trial Scott has been following this week. They are in the verdict watch for the penalty phase here in Texas, and they're still deliberating on that penalty. And there's a little red light when the jury either has a question or they're ready and they have their verdict. So the court cam has been panned in on that light. So when it goes off, I get excited. That's still actually active right now. So Scott's trying to find a way, if we can. Uh-oh, Scott lost his voice. Oh no. Oh.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you then.
I've fallen down the abyss. Let me see if I can get my voice back. I can hear you just fine. Amber's calling.
Oh, we're getting reports that it's red.
The light's red. I'm trying to put it on the screen. I'm in the midst of trying to put it on the screen. It's I don't have connection. This device is not connected.
So the light came on and went off, which has been standard what it's been doing. So it could be them turning in their schedule if they want to go home. It could be, I doubt it's another question because of the questions that they already had. Or it could be they agreed, but I kind of doubt it. I feel like they want to go home.
Okay, so I'm trying to make it quiet enough that you can hear me. So just 1 second. And at the same time, I need to reboot. Okay, so I'm completely flying on the iPad right now. And hopefully we'll have something. Oh, man. Why did the light have to go off now? Can you hear me now, Thomas?
Yeah, we can hear you. It's a hair quiet, but we can still pick you up.
Is that any better?
That's good.
Sounds good. If I enter the studio there, I think what I can do is have the camera...
Forrest, God, what a week.
Hopefully this will work. Is that fair?
That's perfect. We get to see what happens. Can you hear us or me or the court?
Yes, and I think we can hear everything.
Oh, your volume's
multiple times. So now we should have the court audio, hopefully not too delayed, off the camera. There might be a sync problem with the court audio, but this is the courtroom. I can hear you and hope. I'm not going to touch anything. We're just going to sit there and hope, fingers crossed, that this works. Good time. Welcome to the weekend, though. Man, this has been a week and a half. This is one of those weeks where I never would have thought we went half the places we did during the week, and I never want to go there again.
I've said it on the podcast before. Every time there's a trial coming up, I'm like, it seems like it's decent. There's no real excitement. And then, boom, every single one of them. It started with Murdaugh. I had little interest. He's a high-profile attorney. They're going after him. Whatever. One of the best trials ever. Every single one since then has had a big surprise. This one probably had the biggest surprises.
Not good surprises. Not good surprises. But But no, that was absolutely insane. That was crazy. Let's see. Hey, Mrs. RA, you're going to be on camera if you walk anywhere. Just heads up.
You cannot stop it.
She just brought me 5 books. Dance with Death,
No, just
Michael Bay,
okay.
Allegiance, The Expeditioners, and she brought me something to put the iPad on so that I'm not looking down, and now I can see. So it's good. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was balancing it on my network attached storage drive. She said that wasn't the best way to balance the iPad.
I
Oh,
thought she handed them to you to say, "Here, will you put these on the shelf next to you?"
Yeah.
Since I
thought she was putting books away as well. I think these are all library books. So she probably checked them out Thursday well, probably right before she went on vacation. So probably Tuesday, and they're all read and ready to be turned in. Brandy, so good to see you here. Welcome. Crazy week for both of us. So we've been dealing with just some insane cases and crazy things. Hope you're doing absolutely fabulous, Brandy. We'll have to get you on here sometime. I'd love to have you on for the podcast. I'm not sure if you can stay tonight or another day. Probably might be better for your schedule, or say the word and we'll send you the link. But you might have to replace me if it's a technical problem.
Yeah. Yeah, kudos to the both of you, Brandy and you, for the trials that you guys ended up covering. I know it's been a beating for different reasons, but nonetheless, a beating's a beating. I imagine the weekend is going to be very, very nice and relaxing.
That would be nice. That would be really nice. I'll vote for that. If I have any sway in making that happen, relaxing weekend would be on the schedule for sure.
Depends how much sheetrock is left to hang, right?
The sheetrock's done. We've done the. I say we as if I've done any of this, and I haven't. My partner has completely finished all the mudding. He did all the texturing on the ceiling and the knockdown. It looks incredible. I mean, it looks. He's a pro. Honestly, he's really a professional at what he does. So it looks amazing. It's great. He's hung doors. I haven't looked and checked, but I think he's got all the bedroom doors, the bathroom doors, all the doors are up and ready to paint tomorrow. I've got a million things to do tomorrow, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to paint with him. That's one of the things I actually know how to do. I had a company where I painted houses just straight out of high school. We called it prime painting, which was a cool little word,
That is.
And
just get a primer and then paint. Mm-hmm. But I would rather hang sheetrock and mud, tape and bed, all that, than paint all day long.
What if I threw sanding in there? Would that switch it up? Sanding's my least favorite. I hate it. I can if you're using a paint sprayer or a roller, it's great. Brush, I'm not a big fan of. But I know you have to do all the cutting in and stuff with a brush, but
the cutting is what I refuse.
Even in a roller and the taping and the cutting in I hate as far as the painting goes.
It's the worst.
That's why I quit my company. I'm like, I'm done with this. There's paintings for the birds, guys. It's great being your own boss, but it doesn't pay very well if you refuse to do the job that you're hiring yourself to do.
Eric says that I'm absolutely crazy. Give me the paint over drywall any day. I know it's one of those things where you either love it or hate it on both sides. 100%, I get it, but no, count me out on painting. That's the taping and cutting takes longer than the rest of the whole room to paint.
It is awful, and honestly, to prep to paint, you basically seal off the room so there's no air conditioning. Oh, it looks like Judge is talking. Can we listen to him for just a minute? You seal off the room so you can't get any circulation, and then you sit there with all the fumes, and you have a headache at the end of every day. You're covered in paint. You can never get clean. He looks nervous. Is it verdict?
They're going home. They're going home.
He looks really
Sheriff, you'll need to be seated. Members of the jury, it is my understanding that you all have reached a unanimous verdict, and the verdict was signed by the foreperson and delivered to the court. Is that true?
Yeah.
Very good. If you all would please stand for the reading of the verdict. Verdict form reads as follows: cause number F2175024, State of Texas versus Darren Lopez. We, the jury, having previously found the defendant, Darren Lopez, guilty of murder as charged in the indictment, unanimously assess the punishment of the defendant at confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for a term of 62 years and a fine of $10,000. Members of the jury, if that is your individual verdict, would you please signify so by raising your right hand? Please let the record reflect that all 12 members of the jury did in fact raise their right hands. You all may be seated.
Till he's 101.
Members of the jury, the next thing that's going to happen after I talk to you is I'm going to formally sentence the defendant, and then I'm going to dismiss you from any further service. At certain times throughout the trial, I've told you that you're not allowed to talk about this case with anybody else. You're not allowed to do any independent research. And obviously now that your service as jurors in this case has concluded, well, those instructions no longer apply. I want to start by echoing some of the things that I told you at the very beginning, which is I know that you could have thought about something to say to get off jury service, but you didn't. You knew what kind of a case that you were getting into, although I suspect you probably never imagined, as all jurors don't, what they would hear and how this might impact them. I want to tell you thank you from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of the lawyers in this case for your service. Your service has concluded. The bailiffs will lead you back to the jury room to collect your things. All rise for the jury. You're dismissed from any further service in this matter.
Okay, I was not expecting that. I really was not. Granted, Thomas, this is Texas. Things
Why
happen.
not just give him life? There has to be a significance of 62. Why not 65? Why not 60?
He's what? Is he 48, 49 right now?
49.
So 111. Is that? I did the math wrong. That's as I've done all day long. But 111. But by doing that, he has the eligibility of parole.
You all may be seated.
They could do anything.
Mr. Sanchez, Mr. Duke, and Mr. Lopez, if you would please remain standing for the sentencing. Mr. Sanchez, is there any lawful reason why your client should not now be formally sentenced? Very good. Mr. Lopez, the order of judgment and decree of this court that after the jury having found you guilty and assessed your punishment, that you be taken by the sheriff of Dallas County, by her safely held, till you're turned over to an authorized receiving agent for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Institutional Division, wherein you shall be confined for a period of 62 years. That sentence begins today, but you will be given credit for all of your back time. And I'm also giving you credit against any and all outstanding fines and court costs you may have accrued up to this point. The record should also reflect that the jury has assessed a fine, and I hereby assess it in accordance with their verdict of $10,000. Record should also reflect that you signed a copy of the trial court certification of your right of appeal. Do you recall signing that?
I do, Your Honor.
And when you signed it, did you understand it?
I did, Your Honor.
And if you cannot afford a lawyer, you do have a right to appeal this case. If you cannot afford a lawyer on appeal, I will appoint one for you. Unless there's anything else from either side, that concludes this hearing. On the record, he's your prisoner now. Good luck to you, sir.
He's been remanded to custody of the sheriff.
Thank you all very much.
Lee says 62 equals 2 served plus 60. Parole eligible at 31. They wanted to serve 30 plus. Victim had about 30 years left. So they sentenced him for how much time was left over.
I mean, I can't think of anything any better. Because like I said, why not go 60, 65? 62 seems to mean something to that jury pool or the jurors. So,
Yeah. Wow.
wow.
Let me cut to one. Is that? Can you hear me both? Why is it working now? Why is it?
I can hear you once, but I can see you twice.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get rid of me, the green screen me, and just go with the other one. See if that works. So we'll roll with that. So that was surprising. That was very surprising. I think that was more than I thought. But
Same here. Red pen. So we got 62 years in prison plus a $10,000 fine.
yeah, and roughly 4.5 hours of deliberation to get to that point on the penalty.
Right. But he's got 2 years served, so 60 years. But
And just a minute ago, we were talking about painting houses and what I don't like doing. Sorry, I'm still getting audio from the courtroom. They're showing the family, just the emotions in the court, and there are quite a few tears. I'm not sure which side those are on, if those are tears of joy or anguish. I'm not sure, but
that was his stepdaughter.
man,
That's tough. I'm more blown away Well, I'm a little shocked about the length, but I'm blown away. We got a verdict tonight. When they came back and said they had a question denied, and then they came back and said, "What happens when we're deadlocked?" And the question goes back to the former schedule. I, I didn't think that quickly they could come around and agree somehow that fast.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be, Judge, here's our schedule. Do we come in tomorrow or Monday? And we'll keep working through it. So I'm shocked we get a verdict at 7:15 Central Time here in Texas.
Seriously.
It's wild.
It was a long day. Think of all the things they did. I mean, the state rested today officially, right?
Yep.
Or was that yesterday? I forget. But it was
This morning.
It's so fast. It's been so fast. Wow. All in 1 week. They crammed it and made it fit. We were talking about painting. If we can go back to just something a little bit lighter, the weekends here, I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to think on this later. But the weekends here, we're talking about painting. I actually dreamed when I started my painting company. I had dreams of grandeur. I had dreams of fleets of painting vehicles with crews that were, working almost 24/7, trying to keep up with the massive demand my company would have. The actuality was a little different. Reality was different. I had really just placed the smallest ad I could possibly fit in the cheapest slot in the classified ads in the newspaper I could. That was my advertising budget. And I think we got 2 jobs while I had that company. I took 2 jobs. I got calls for others, but I didn't want to do them. I did not like the job. I didn't like what I was doing. But one of the jobs paid for a whole ton of gear and all the equipment. And then I was done. I'd actually painted for someone else's company for many years, but that was no fun. But the dreams of grandeur never materialized. I was pretty much just stuck thinking I'll just have to win the lottery, which is even harder because I don't play. But so the odds of reaching the financial success that I wanted to in life were not brought about by painting. But
Technically not. Granger does have a great catalog, though.
They do. They have a great catalog. I learned a ton running that business, and also probably more so doing all the work for someone else's business. I was the guy that was bringing in all the money for them. It's funny that I worked for months for him, and then when I tried, when I could keep all the revenue myself, I was like, "This is crap. I'm not doing this crap."
I'm taking my paintbrush and going home.
Yeah. Oh man.
So speaking, you said so. If not painting, winning the lottery.
Well, that's pretty much the only options I saw available. With my narrow view of the world, it's like this is the way to success. But the lottery, I guess some people it works for them.
Tonight's the night, Scott. Tonight's the night.
What are your numbers?
No, no. Not gonna happen.
There's I pass the billboards a lot. North Carolina has a lottery, Mega Millions, Powerball, and then we have like the North Carolina, I think they call it like the North Carolina State Education Lottery or something like that. I don't know where the money goes to, but we've got those 3 big ones, and then like a billion scratch off programs and other things you can play. So options, but those big 3 last week, the Powerball was over $1 billion?
1.08
billion. Even after taxes, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and especially even if you take the cash payout. So here's what we got. Debbie asked, "Is that a lottery ticket?" It is. I do not do scratch offs and lottery or any of that very often. I just did this one for fun this week because something came across. But so the Mega Millions drawing tonight is worth $940 million. If you take the cash payout, right? The cash payout, they heavily tax you because it's one-time dink instead of installments. So it's a huge hit. So you only get to take home $427 million. So you're completely penalized. Life is ruined. It's terrible.
Yeah, there go my plans. That I really have to scale down with what I had envisioned for the mansion.
Yeah. What about an Airbnb with that money? So no, I bought 2 sets of numbers with the multiplier, just kind of for fun. Like I said, I probably do it twice a year for fun. And I don't
And
always
usually
do it when
when the
it's
lottery is huge like this. This is about the biggest I've ever heard of it going. Has it gone much bigger?
This is the 10th biggest currently for the Mega Millions.
So we're in top 10. Top
Yeah.
10 is in the I would be rich category if you win.
I'm sure top 50, if you want, would be like, I'm rich. It's the lottery.
So I don't know when they do the drawing, but if you suddenly get distracted on our checking a paper and you start getting really excited, remember us, your friends, your close friends and acquaintances, when you struggle to find ways to spend all that.
Well, here's how confident I am. I heard the best analogy ever from a guy. He actually ran some stats on it.
Mhm.
And because the odds in winning the lottery, it's at least the Mega Millions now, it's like 1 in 302 million. So he said, let's play a different game. You can play this game as many times as you want for $2 a try. Each try, what you can do is I'm going to give you a piece of paper.
Mhm.
You can write down street name, address, city, and state. And if there's $50 million briefcase on that front porch, you win the lottery. That's your odds broken down. You literally have to guess an address
Pick
in
an
the
address in the
United
United States. If you guess the one I'm thinking of, you win.
You win. That's the odds. More or less, and pretty close. It's kind
That
of
that doesn't seem nearly as hopeful as choose random numbers that mean importance to you, that mean something. Or
even when I read the back of the ticket and it's like your odds are 1 in 300 million, I'm like, so you're saying there's a chance?
yes, so yes, that sounds like a. So you're saying there's a chance? Yep.
Yeah.
A Dumb and Dumber quote.
But you break it down by guess the correct address in the entire United States. No chance.
Somebody.
Somebody.
And imagine when I think from what I heard, I don't play myself, but when you win, you have like a year to collect. I don't know why you would win $443 million and wait a year to collect. For me, I'd probably collect on the early side of that year. But you've got time to go in, and I've heard that the important thing to do is to contact like legal first of all. Like you sign your lottery ticket and you rent the most expensive vault in the closest bank, and you stick it in there, and then you shut up and don't tell anyone. Right?
You get an attorney ASAP.
Get an attorney, and draft all your paperwork, and you need a plan for how to handle that much money. And for how to receive it, and the tax implications and everything else, because it's not just walking into there and cashing the big check and happily ever after.
Right. And some states vary. You have to collect and announce your identity. Some states you don't.
They reserve the right to use your picture in advertising.
Yep.
Which some people have an issue with. Particularly the one person. Do you want to tell the story about what he did about not revealing his identity when he collected his winnings?
I think I should, because I might do the same. So there's a lottery winner. This wasn't the U.S. lottery. This was a lottery winner in China. So he won 220 million yen or something like. I forget what the jackpot was, but he chooses to accept his winnings, because you have to show up and have to take a picture wearing a disguise.
Oh.
But it's not just a disguise. I don't even know what it is. It's like a cartoon character. Like, he doesn't. It's not the glasses with the nose and the mustache. He's in like a
Pikachu.
he's like in a Muppet costume. A completely hilarious show. The biggest reason, a lot of people want to not advertise to the world, because you're going to get friends that you haven't spoken to in 30 years, right?
All the friends come back. All those relationships. They mean, yeah.
Triple ex-girlfriends. Hey, how you been? Blah, blah, blah. No, he's doing it to hide from his wife and children. That's why he is disguising himself from winning the lottery.
I'm guessing they're not in the will.
Or they aren't anymore.
The big surprise is, hey, we know when I pass away, guess what? I successfully hid from you the fact that we're the richest people in the province.
Yeah, 100%. So
I'm guessing there's marital discord somewhere in there.
you bought, yeah,
Communication is probably not their strong suit, but divorce
Yeah.
might be the future.
It sounds like a Jennifer Jamie type marriage. It's so he bought 40 lottery tickets somewhere in China, with all of them containing the same 7 numbers. His gamble paid off big time as he was able to pocket a whopping 220 yen, which is 5.4 million yen per ticket. It's around 30 million USD. Life-changing money.
This like something rings the bell. That doesn't sound right. You play 7 tickets with the same numbers and win on all 7. So he won the lottery 7 times in 1 week.
Even worse, 40 tickets.
40
with the same 7 numbers.
This guy, this is a scam. This guy is in on it. There's somebody who's getting a payoff here.
There's a really good movie on this. The guy that plays in Breaking Bad, the main actor, forget his
The
name.
Walter White dude.
Yes.
Okay.
Someone in chat will save us on this one.
Yes, someone roast us for not knowing.
Both expected. He plays this high school teacher genius, and he finds a way to, you can buy, yep, Bryan Cranston. There it is. Love it. Everyone's nailing it. But he reads the back of the tickets, the odds, how many you can buy, and then he gets in on it. He starts winning, but he tells his wife, and his wife, well, I won't spoil the rest, but he finds a way to break the lottery and figures it out. So that's what this guy might have done somehow. But we don't know who he is.
I think the lottery is rigged to never lose. So but wow, the odds of that happening is like infinitesimally small, and then him doing it 40 times over in 1 week. That's just like screaming of investigate me. make sure
100%.
make sure this is all on the up and up, and there's not some corruption going on at the Lottery Central. But man, the odds of that happening, that would be like, statistically, that would be like, I don't know, getting lost at sea with your dog and being found 2 months later.
Which that can't happen. I mean, outside the movie Castaway,
Yeah,
he didn't have a dog. He had a volleyball named Wilson.
Unfortunately, actually, it does happen. People do win the lottery, and one guy even was found after being lost at sea 2 months after being adrift in the Pacific Ocean with his dog. Just him and his dog, just chilling out there, them in the waves.
How long? 2 months?
2 months. An Australian sailor and his dog. Hang on 1 second. Let me pull this up here.
That sounds absolutely terrifying.
Let me give you the details. Hang on, I agree. It's got this big pop-up window. Okay, there we go. So he's in Australia. He's 54 years old. His dog named Bella. That's important. They left Mexico to try and go to French Polynesia in April. That's a 6,000-mile trip. It's a long trip. He's in a catamaran, which is a catamaran is a boat that has basically 2 holes, right? A 2 or 3 hole catamaran.
Yeah.
There's several holes, and then like usually webbing or netting or something between it. Sometimes there's a hard deck on top, but gets in a storm, as you know, as boats do, gets damaged, and he has no way to sail. He has no way to propel the boat. He has no electronics and no way of contacting anyone, even cooking, nothing. And he saw land in May, and then he's just sitting there in the middle of the ocean with his dog, drifting ever since. In the summertime, when the sun comes out, he like hides under the little bit of stretched out canopy that's left after the storm, eats raw fish, drinks rainwater, to survive. It's full on castaway, but he's on a boat. And then
That's
and then
way worse.
Lo and behold, along comes a rescuer. If that were me, I would be done sailing. What did Adam say?
He could
You could
signal
signal
OSO.
You could tap it on the hull of the boat, and it would go through the water. Oh,
Castaway
If only
sounds
he knew more.
I'd way rather
What's
be on an island than stuck on the water.
Yeah, as long as there weren't things on the island that were trying to eat me. If I were safe on the island and had at least the means of survival and basic necessities, I'd much rather be on the island than the boat. Because anytime there's just a big fish, the next time you dip in the water to cool off, you become lunch. That's
Yeah, it's either there to attack you or it's a really big meal for you. So it's kind of a catch-22.
Those really big meals are hard to cook and catch. Once they get bigger than you, the ratio flips and you become the prey.
So he got spotted by a tuna boat. Tuna boat's helicopter in the distance. Can you imagine?
Like, hey, what are you doing? You're scaring the fish. Quit tapping on the hole. And what does OSO mean anyway?
Quit poaching my area. That's insane.
I bet those tuna boats. I bet they said, "Look, we'll rescue you, but we're going to put you to work. You've got to haul this net in or start cleaning these tuna." There's nobody gets a free ride here.
100%. That includes the dog. The dog's getting to work too. That's just I'm so claustrophobic. I know you're sitting on a boat in the middle of a wide open ocean, but I would have the same feeling and fears if that's where I was stuck. I would panic. I would freak out. I would do myself in over fear and emotion being stuck that long out there. That's crazy to survive that.
Yeah. I mean, in Castaway, he stays sane by talking to Wilson. That wouldn't save me.
No.
I would go nuts. I'd be yelling at myself in like 6 languages, and I only know one. So
I think he did go nuts, and that's why Wilson became his best friend. A volleyball with a big blood stain on it.
I'm so disappointed in that movie because I want to know what's in the package. That last package. That was like the cliffhanger.
Oh yeah.
He goes and delivers the package like after all that time. He's like, it's the worst package ever. It's all beat up. It's like all you had to do was like squeeze it a little bit. The thing would have popped right open. All of us would be happy. We'd like, oh, okay, it's a book. Cool. I just, that's all I need to know. But nope. It's
not like you can make a sequel. It would be. There's no chance. He gets lost again.
Contents. Shipping confirmation. No, it's like picking a lock and then not looking inside the safe when you're done. I realize that's a part in like what is it, the Italian Job. That's one of the themes. The daughter of the big lock picking guy. She picks locks, and after she picks the lock, she never looks inside. She's not curious, or at least that's her thing. But I couldn't do that. If I had stayed that long and that package had kept me alive, I'd be like, hang on. First of all, I'm not sure if I want to give you this package because I'm pretty sure you claimed it on insurance and had a new one sent to you. Okay. 100%. So that's not fair. And I want to know what's in there. I mean, it could be another Wilson, and he could have had a friend. Two Wilsons.
That's crazy. I know a lot of people dislike that movie because at one point in time, it's, what is it, like 48 minutes of silence? Not silence, but no vocals. It's him exploring the island and his thinking and his thought process and what he's doing and figuring out life. And it's 48 minutes of no talking. And
that's how Monday's live stream started. I had hit the button. It said it was transmitting, and I did 16, 18 minutes of opening monologue. We did roll call. I think I even sang happy birthday to people. It was, and then I realized that that no one was really responding to what I was saying, and they were still asking, if I was late or if I was going to be live that day. That was my Castaway moment. It was so bad.
No.
Hopefully, that's not something that you can clip and put on TikTok or something. That's safe. I know what happened, but nobody else gets to see what it was like. That aha moment when I'm like, oh, that is safe from anyone else's eyes.
What's kind of funny though, the business you're in, you sat there and realized you were talking to yourself for that long. But at the end of the day, when you went live, you're still talking to yourself for that long because there's no one there.
When I found out I was talking to myself for that long, I announced it to myself. And it's like a weird, I don't know how to say it. When there's a certain button that's turned on my camera here, when this little light is on, and it's not on right now because I'm streaming through a different services going differently. But when that light is on,
it's working.
Sorry. I just know that it's live, and I just buttons up. I see the stream going out, and we're on. And I usually, when I start the live stream, I'm always behind because you guys have been in here chatting forever, and I'm trying to catch up on everything you guys are saying, and it takes a while to get caught up. But when I finally did get caught up, I realized I was not even there, and that I was still all the way behind because I had not started. Rough week. All in all, I'm so glad it's the weekend.
And this morning, you just popped on real quick, gave a quick update what was happening, and then triggered the intro, and then we were live.
I tried to trigger the intro, and it had. I was talking to Mrs. R.A. actually this morning. We had an early morning trip, and we drove for hours. Had to drive all the way in east and back. Anyway, so we're driving. We're talking about what I want to change about the channel, what I want to make better, and things that are bugging me that I need to fix. And one of them was the intro. And I thought I want to try doing an open where we have a thumbnail, right? We tell people this is what this video is going to be about, whether it's a case we're following or whatever. And I said I'd like to start with matching that. So the contents is me announcing and saying, okay, this is what's happening today. This is what we have to look forward to. Before I just start playing music, and it's like a minute and a half later, the video starts. So I said, I'm going to try that. And I still am. I'm going to try it. But the only problem is I had turned off everything on the desk. So when I'm rushing back to go live this morning, I'm plugging everything and turning it on, and it just did not work the first time. The audio wasn't working. I could not hear myself. I could hear myself through the roadcaster, but I couldn't hear it through the switcher, even though I knew it was going out. I could see it was going out. The replay machine that I run my intro off of, the video, was glitching and flashing. It was a mess. So it became much worse. I thought it was going to be like, this is going to be an awesome introduction, and it's going to be fire. Everyone's going to be like, yeah, I love that. Nope, no dice.
No dice. Didn't happen. That's what they say, showbiz, right?
That's how showbiz careers end. And here was his last attempt. So after this, it was just downhill.
And here's the finale. I was thinking about it today, how crazy YouTube and/or / just streaming has changed so many things.
Yeah.
You look at court now, it's being streamed everywhere. There's people in the things I love. There are weathermen, take Ryan Hall, or there's other meteorologists that are leaving big agencies to go do their own thing and go stream and do it themselves. The other one I thought about today as well was the golf world. And I know not everyone golfs, but everyone kind of gets the idea. Golf companies and manufacturers, they pay hundreds of thousands and millions to the best players in the world to play their equipment. And you have to be some of the best in the world to get that.
Like Callaway might send you a set of clubs, or golf bags and gear and shoes, or you'd get. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, so I've gotten some free stuff, but I don't also get $1 million check to play it. Whereas the pro players, nice. They do.
I looked in the package. I didn't see the check. It was there.
Where's the check? But YouTube has grown so much. There are really good players on YouTube that document, do live stuff, and record videos that they're really good for the average Joe, but they're nowhere near professional. But their following is so big. All the big manufacturers now are having them come to their facilities, custom fit them for equipment, paying them for their time. They're not even near as good as anyone you'd see on TV, but these companies see what they're doing on YouTube and their followers, and it makes way more sense because they're reaching 1 million more people for a quarter of the cost. So YouTube and/or streaming has changed the game in so many areas.
It has. Take football, for example. Look at the Super Bowl ad. Okay, the cost of a Super Bowl ad. Yet you have the eyeballs of a lot of people during the Super Bowl, during halftime. If you show an ad, during halftime, lots of people are going to see that. But it's casting a very wide net over a large section of the viewer ocean, and probably a good half the people that see it are probably not even in your target audience.
Right.
But imagine if you could cast a net over a school of your target audience fish, where all the people that watch the golf channel on whatever the golfers on YouTube that you're talking about, they're golfers. Okay. They watch because they golf. They like this. They're in there. And then that ad, first of all, the cost is much lower. You don't have to pay $24 billion, $1 million for a 30-second ad. I don't the numbers are ridiculous on the Super Bowl commercials, but you end up paying $100,000, $20,000 for a 5-minute ad with somebody who has all these customers. It's changed the metrics. The game is changing. It's the money is shifting and the power is shifting, really.
Yeah, the ROI percentage is incredible, and it's crazy. And they're doing it. Obviously, they do it to more than one YouTuber. They hit all the YouTubers that have that collective audience. Because, like you said, you're casting it on that particular group. So there's not a whole bunch of non-golfers following golfing YouTubers. Or like Adam said previously, I wasn't aware of this, but he said guitar YouTube is like that too.
I got to take that one down. Great comments. Yeah, I love it. I think it's an opportunity. The world's changing. The digital, the connectivity of the world has made things so much different. The ability to connect and be somewhere and conduct business somewhere else. It's changing in ways so fast and so completely that the shift is happening. That there are opportunities developing day by day as technology becomes available. I mean, there's going to be a time where your kids, my kids, are going to do shopping by putting on a headset and walking through a store and selecting items.
100%.
And it will be in their virtual basket, and they'll try them on and be able to look in the mirror, using these glasses and see how it fits and choose something, and then it will ship and it will arrive exactly how it looked. And that day is coming. The technology's here. It's just rolling out now. But imagine just how different everything is, and really because of this, I think who was it? The world is flat. That was a long time ago, but Fieldman, is that the name? Scott Field? I can't remember.
Fieldman.
Long time ago. Anyway,
Ivan brings up a good point. How do y'all? So RA's buying a Super Bowl ad?
Yes. Yes, everybody. I'm. What would I put in my Super Bowl ad? You guys, of course. It would do a big, huge Zoom meeting with all of you on it. And then I send you the bill for your portion of the ad because I can't pay for that myself.
I need XYZ super chats in the next 30 days in order for this.
No, I don't think I'll ever be buying any television ad space. It doesn't make sense to me in this environment.
So our company, we don't do any television, any newspaper, any billboard, any hard copy. We are strictly internet-based advertising, and everything we get is all inbound. Zero outbound sales as far as outreach. It's all inbound. And
it's word of mouth. Customers are coming to you faster than you can accept them.
Right.
This is how I envisioned my painting company being. It didn't happen that way for me. So there must be something different that your company is doing that I was not. Probably doing the work is probably the big difference. Having satisfied customers is probably key to referrals.
Satisfied customers for sure. The biggest thing is, and the hardest part, you really have to dump a ton of money into that, into those marketing ads up front to really make it happen. Not relevant Super Bowl ad, but yeah, that would be perfect.
Any day now, Cash, that fund's going to hit that level, and we're going to go ahead and roll that. XYZ, here we go. You guys are awesome. Hey, Jake, thanks for that. That's speaking of Super Bowl. Super Bowl for me is always, first of all, I rarely watch it. I'm a big fan of college football. Super Bowl, I like hear the replay. But even if I watch the Super Bowl like the day after, like tape delay or something like that, you need food with football. The two go together. You can't sit down through a football match, and we're talking American football here. You can't sit down without food. What's your go-to food for football?
Well, I'm with you. I'll back up and go. I don't really watch the Super Bowl. I watch the replay if I'm even interested in the teams that are there. Now, if I'm invited to a Super Bowl party, I'm excited because there's typically barbecues and some drinks to be had and friends all gathering together. So it's more of the social aspect than it is the game for me. I know it's not that way for everybody, but for one, I love to barbecue and or grill and cook.
Barbecue, that's like you stamp your man card by having a barbecue, right? It's like me cook food. It's like the caveman in us comes out. And I'm not saying that women can't do that as well. Like, women can probably cook the pants up. Well, that's a bad analogy. Women could really do a much better job cooking than I could in pretty much any category. So I'm not trying to make this a gender thing, but barbecuing is almost like it's like a rite of passage into adulthood. It's cooking with fire. It's this I've arrived type thing, and there's a couple aspects. First of all, the grill itself is a lot like your truck, your first truck, right? The grill and your truck are both items to be shown off. Okay, they're polished, they're clean, they're glowing. They've got like 7 burner elements, all the different knobs and the side warmers and the attachments, and it's like having a brand new truck and showing it off. It's like, hey, you guys want to come over for a barbecue? It's not that you want to share food with somebody. It's like, hey, you got to check out my grill. that's
Is Mrs. RA nearby?
Hopefully not. Where is she?
I was hoping she was next to you. I wanted to get an immediate report of the condition of your grill right now. She would be honest about it. That's why I was hoping she was standing to your right or left.
I will tell you, she wouldn't know. She wouldn't know because I am the griller. She knows it's outside and that I cook on it and I make amazing food. But she doesn't know that the seasoning on the grill is important and it's built up over time. Oh, look, here's Mrs. RA. Hang on, the camera.
I just heard a door open in the back room. Yep.
I'm serious, it is. So she's decent. Yes. What are you talking about? I'll give you a minute.
No.
If you
the mic boom.
Right,
mic boom.
This camera might shift. I'm just telling you. Hold on 1 second.
There's a little window in this room that I can sit in and know that I'm safe from cameras. But he just changed his camera, so I don't know. So was the question what condition it's in?
He's talking about how important it is to have your grill so tidy and shiny. So I said, okay.
Here's 0.
Oh, she can't hear.
Oh, I hear me.
Let me know when you.
Okay, what's the question?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. So he was talking about how important it is to have your grill all nice and tidy and clean and shiny. And so at the end of it, I stopped him and said, hey, is Mrs. RA nearby? Because I want to get an update on the condition of his grill.
You know, it is shiny immediately before he uses it. So he uses it and leaves it. And then the next time he has to use it, he makes it shiny really quickly so he can use it again. But actually, I got to tell you guys, I don't know what it is, but every time we buy a grill, something massive goes wrong in America. So we may have caused the pandemic, and they had like a gas pipeline here in the East that died the week that we bought a new grill. I was like, I think maybe we should stop doing this.
Okay, so next time y'all need a grill, call me and I'll get it and ship it to you so we can avoid the next catastrophe.
We cooked on a Blackstone grill, which I think if I get another one, that's what I'm gonna look for. It's a flat top grill instead of the exposed flames. I love it. That's
different. What I do too.
They're amazing.
So I threw my flat top away. I threw my standard grill away with flames, and I only do flat top now. It's the most amazing thing in the world.
Love them. Highly recommended. But.
So let's dive in since we said that, and that's what we love.
Okay.
Your top 3 foods to make on the grill, but open flame only, no griddle, no flat top.
Okay. I should have read that. Before I shut down this category.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not vegan. Let me announce that first. I'm not vegan. I eat things that are vegan, so I'm just like one step away from that. But burgers have got to be number 1 for me.
Okay.
Number 2 and 3 are both vegetables, and I'm going to go with asparagus and corn. But let me swap them: corn and asparagus. 2 is corn. Asparagus is number 3.
Hey, there's a lot of corn actually in there. I like it. and it's all opinion, right? There's no wrong answer.
There's wrong answers. There are. I've seen some people grill some stuff that is just not right.
Actually, my third one is going to be a wrong answer given the week that you've had.
Okay.
So my number 1 is steak.
Mhm.
My number 2 is burgers.
Okay.
My number 3 is eggplant.
Yep, wrong answers.
That's what-
Next topic in the
Wrong-
news.
wrong week. That's the fastest we've ever ripped through a top 3.
Yeah, eggplant.
It's amazing.
How do you cook it? You just eat it, like slice it and eat it, or is this?
Well, yeah, as a side, or typically you can chicken Parmesan, you can substitute the chicken with eggplant. And so I'll actually grill my eggplant before I turn it into that and then eat it with like Alfredo.
With Alfredo.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
So
But
this
when
is showing a little bit of I don't know, just the lack of variety in my life. What does eggplant taste like? Is it like a squash? Is it like a smooth pepper?
It's closer to like a zucchini, but more hearty mixed with. It depends on what you flavor it with. It doesn't actually come packed with a bunch of flavor, but it's more hearty.
Like pepper, or is it like a solid, like a watermelon?
The
what's
consistency is
inside?
more firm. It's like take a zucchini, but a little bit more firm. That's why you actually have to cook it a while to kind of break it down, and then you season it with whatever you want, and it becomes like a meat substitute in that situation. So as you said, if you don't want meat at that point in time, you can substitute with something like that and cook. It's amazing. Flavor it the way you want, cook it just right, and it's awesome. Except unless
I'm
you're
going to take your word for it. I'm going to take your word for it. I've never looked at a recipe and looked at the eggplant and gone, that looks good.
Well, the internet ruined that. That's what happened there. But
Yeah, emojis really. That was the downfall of the eggplant.
see, Cass knows eggplant lasagna. It's delicious. This
is in place of meat. This is like a meat substitute. Is this like what they make the Impossible Burger out of? It's just an eggplant burger, or
no, the Impossible Burgers, bleh, but it is. If I urge you to try it once. Now, it's not something where you want a steak or chicken breast. I'm going to eat eggplant all the time. It's a once in a while thing. It's just a little bit different, a little bit lighter, and you can mix it up. But it's well worth it because if you cook it and season it right, it tastes great. It does not
be like
over
lightly tanned on the outside, or you like burn it to crisp and eat it like bacon.
No, don't burn the eggplant.
Does it become toxic then, or
It becomes no good.
Might as well be.
Yeah,
I might have to give it a try. I mean, asparagus and corn are, obviously some people don't like either of them, but I'd be willing to try eggplant at least once.
And I love both of those. If we did a 5, I would have gone with your asparagus as well as the corn. Absolutely, would have been enough for sure.
The best thing, if you have a little asparagus, like a steamer, I like a grill mark on the asparagus as well. But little grill mark and then grated Parmesan
with garlic and butter.
I'm not on the garlic, but I am on the butter. I would do salt and pepper instead of garlic. I'm not huge on adding the garlic to the asparagus flavor. I love, and it has to be like fresh sprigs. You can't have like those, like the stalks that are really mostly fiber.
Yeah,
you need the soft little tips only. That's good. It's really good. The only thing better is sorry. The only thing better is artichoke.
See, that I'm out on.
No
way.
You cook these. Well, actually, my mom cooks them generally. That she makes it in. She like boils them in like a little layer of water. After you've like clipped off all the little pokies, the parts that want to kill you when you pick it up, you cut those part off with scissors and you cut the top off, and then you cook the bottom, like the heart. You've cut the stem off so it's flat on the bottom. You cook it, and then she makes is like a hollandaise sauce or something, which is probably like liquid death for your veins. It's like all butter and nothing healthy. But and then you tear those off and you just eat the fleshy part of the artichoke. And when you're all done, you scrape out the fuzz that chokes you, and then you just eat the heart. And if you've done it properly, you burn your fingers throughout the entire process, because as soon as it comes out of the pan, you start eating it, and it cools off, but you do burn your fingers doing it. That's good. I don't know if you can make it on a grill, but
Artichokes and burnt fingers. Sign me up.
if you know, it's that good. It's really good.
True. Cass, I'm on board with that. Salmon on the grill. You're right. And I forget the name of it, but you have to cook it on one of the boards on the grill.
Oh, the water, cedar. You soak the cedar in water and grill it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man,
it's very important. You soak the cedar, otherwise you just burn the board.
You just have a fire.
It's just adding fuel to the fire. The flames on the top as well. Yeah.
So speaking of cooking and food and recipes, because chat is going nuts now. And somehow, yet again, this stream always reverts to food, but it's just the way it is. Like
it's relevant. We all eat.
It is relevant. I guess we shouldn't talk about it on this podcast anymore, since this is not relevant. Yes. But so there's I didn't even know this is a thing, first of all. So when I found this, I was blown away. Not what she's doing, but where she finds these things. But so a woman in the US went viral for dedicating herself for a very, very unusual hobby. And it's about trying different recipes while cooking. Now you would think, well, that doesn't sound too unusual, right? Because we all typically will Google something, or a friend or someone in chat says, hey, try this, do this. And that seems normal. She finds these recipes off of the headstones from people in graveyards. So this is a two-parter for me. One, I kind of get trying different recipes, but you're going to gravestones to find it. But two, I did not know people put recipes on headstones.
I've been doing it wrong. I usually put like a nice saying or something, or that's what I would want on your, I guess there was a say. What was the advertisement? What do you want on your tombstone? It was a pizza, right? I always thought it was like, here lived so-and-so. It's like an epitaph, right? Just a short saying, something that was important to you. Here lies a father, son, brother, friends. No. Instead, it's like grandma's chocolate chip cookies, 2 cups flour.
So perfect. Here you go. We've got rest in peace, Miss K. We've got Kay's fudge. This is a physical picture I'm looking at of her headstone. It lists her and her children, and then adjacent to it, Kay's fudge recipe. Two squares chocolate, 2 tablespoons butter, melt on low heat, stir in 1 cup milk, bring to boil. 3 cups sugar, 1 teaspoon vanilla, pinch of salt, cook to softball stage, pour on marble slab, which is ironic because the headstone's made of black marble.
Maybe you can borrow it.
Cool and beat and eat. Wherever she goes, there's laughter. So that's one headstone. This lady makes a hobby of finding tons of these and trying all of these recipes.
Thomas, I figured it out. I know why.
Why?
I have gone and asked people, I've had just a fantastic meal. And I've said, you have got to tell me how to make this. And their response was, over my dead body. Boom. The recipe is over their dead body. They were being literal. I thought they were saying no. Instead, they were saying yes, but wait.
Okay, makes sense. Brandy says, well, what? Heck no. Nobody's making my peach cobbler when I'm gone. Y'all going to miss me and my cobbler too.
Brandy, no. The world would be a worse place without that. And Brandy, we'll have to meet up sometime so you can at least make the peach cobbler for us. I'll bring the ice cream because peach cobbler and ice cream go together, and we'll have to try it.
They do. AJ, it's weird. Is it weird at headstone, or that someone cooks it on YouTube, or that we watch it?
DMB says, I'll take it to my grave. That's where all these sayings came from.
And it's a thing. And so a lady has discovered them all, and she does a thing. Let me see if I can find her channel in case anyone's interested.
What would the cookbook with these recipes be called?
Over my dead body. I think you nailed it.
Or Wrong answers only. But we need some smarter minds than mine to name this cookbook. This is like an opportunity. Seriously, $1 million opportunity. If you're looking for a job right now, if you make this cookbook, if you find recipes off gravestones and include the details of the person who died, the recipe, a picture, you could sell this and you would never have to work again in your life. It's a lot of work on the front end and a little bit of travel involved. You might be able to use, Billion Graves or something to find it, but this is a serious opportunity for somebody. This doesn't come along. I mean, to the 186 people here listening, one of you could be a millionaire selling dead people's secrets.
100%. After her original TikTok video of baking, the gravestone recipe went viral. Grant started searching for similar recipes, managed to find a few all over the United States. She has spent the past year finding more gravestone recipes, and she has stumbled upon a few gems.
Man.
In a Utah cemetery, Rosie discovered the final resting place of Kay Andrews, which has her fudge. So that's what we just read. I'm trying to see if the channel is posted in the article.
You've got to read some of these. Hang on, stop. The comments that are coming in.
Look at her caskets.
Cook in her casket. Coffin to kitchen. Over my dead body. Oh my goodness. Eddie
recipes.
Recipes
to die for. Oh man, that's no good. Granny's recipe to die for. Oh no. Corpse-sized kitchen. Oh. Here's the best
my
one.
eyes are sweaty.
The best one, B Crumbs, which the name is ironic for this topic, but we all got problems coming up with these names too quickly. Oh no, Jim Bob. From Hill's Kitchen. This is terrible. I had no idea this article was going to go this way. This is so bad.
Oh, this recipe is better now that I'm dead. Clean corpse-side cuisine.
Oh, I had no idea it was going to take that when I put it on the sheet of, hey, this one's great. I thought it'd be, ooh, that's creepy. Let's move on. I didn't know it was just.
I guess now we all know now we have to put our favorite recipe on our tombstone. So amend the will. Do whatever you have to do. Notified next of kin that you've got a favorite, and it's going with you to the grave, or on the grave at least.
Tommy, thank you for steering us away from the dark side. So putting angel foods. Now that's what we can put in there.
Yeah, there's a couple of the lighter ones. Man.
That spiraled real fast. Not
Bread casket. Mortuary morsels. That is
okay.
wrong.
I'm going to see if I can. I found the link. I'm going to see if I can.
Show us a picture. Is it a tombstone, or is it like the completed recipe?
It's like a minute 15 YouTube video of gravestone recipes baked by Rosie Grant.
It might get a copyright strike if you play it, but
no, I'm not going to play. I was just going to drop the link in chat.
Okay, yeah.
So if people really wanted to,
you've got to wonder though, what are the odds what are the odds that this was the demise of the person? They made the recipe and it killed them. It's like
food poisoning.
Use a handful of fresh mushrooms from your front yard. It's you're really taking your life in your hands, because you no longer have to. The guinea pig may have not survived to the test bake. Man.
So there it is. You can't click the one on screen, but it's in chat just a few minutes ago. But it's about a minute and 18-minute YouTube video. It's like a little documentary of what she's doing and why she's doing it. For anyone that wants to go down that rabbit hole, I apologize ahead of time.
Briskets for
This is terrible. Kill it, Pete. This is gonna be terrible. Oh no.
Oh. Oh man.
I can't listen to that one.
Oh, this is too good. Oh,
Right off the grave.
makes bakes and biscuits. Oh,
Oh, quick 180 here.
Yeah.
And yes, there was. For those of you that want to go rewatch and don't want a spoiler, I'm going to announce this in 3, 2, 1. They sentenced him to 62 years in prison with a $10,000 fine. He has 2 years served credit. I don't recall when he's eligible for parole, but that's what they came back with.
Through probably like 31 years or so is the norm, but they could possibly do it sooner because
Okay.
Border Patrol, they sort of change their standards sometimes, and
Right.
if
And that
they're
came in
full,
just
they let people out
about
early.
an hour ago. So just to get us out of the that hole we dove into with that thing. Yeah, Virginia said it.
Look at this one from DMV. Oh.
DMV, you and Adam. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything special about 62? AJ, I don't know. That obviously the jury might talk to the public and say this is what we decided on. He is 49 years old. It would make him 111 years old. Somebody had said that's average life expectancy. The victim had that many years left when he was killed. So that might be, this is what you took, so this is what you get. That's probably a very plausible explanation. It might not be true, but I'll buy it.
Yeah. Credit to Lee in chat. He's the one that brought that up. 62, but he's got 2 years served, so it brings it to 60. Parole at 30. So farewell feast. I don't know if I stop now. Okay. This is just.
Oh, what else can go in the oven? Yeah. This we just need to.
Infamous recipes in the infirmary.
Wow, that might be the best segment we've ever had on a podcast. But honestly, that is hilarious.
I just thought it was odd. I thought we'd touch on it for about 12 seconds, and the chat went bananas.
Yeah, we're a dark group. we really are. We go there. It's funny that you can laugh about something like that, but at the same time, I really think that taking it to your grave has a whole new meaning now. That when it comes to the secrets of your cuisine.
Yeah, I'm in on that with you. I think the whole "I'll take it to my grave and over my dead body." I think you might be onto it, and that's why people actually put it there. And so, brandy is a weird. It's making me hungry, only because of the article, but no, because food is always foremost on this channel. It appears, and so I'm getting hungry. Happens about 3 times a day in chat on this one. Oh, that's wild. I don't even know where you go from here. It can't.
Yeah,
that's darn right.
Do you want to do an over under? I haven't. I'm just shooting from the hip here. I've got nothing, but I think I can come up with something. Over and under.
Hell.
Oh, man.
I can't do it. We have
recipes today.
We have outro music ready.
Yeah, we need to do that. Oh man, that was a good one. The red light did us in. It was staring at that light for so long. We've gone a little cuckoo. We're giddy like school kids.
It's Friday. It's a weekend. We're both sweating to death in our offices because
Yes.
it's so hot. I'm dying.
I'm bonding with you as like I was with Adam. Here we are in the same continent, sweating at the same time. It's like we're next to each other. They're just good times.
All right, diving to over under.
Okay, you go. I have nothing. Yeah, I'm shooting.
Okay, so you need time. So we can. This was. I put this one on days and days ago, but you can use it in the kitchen too. So my underrated is now I understand this is the brand name. It's there's generic versions of it, but Mr. Clean sponges are the most underrated thing ever. Now, Mr. Clean is the brand, and you can get those, but you can get them great value, whatever. But it's that style of cleaning sponge.
Are we talking about Magic Eraser sponges?
There you go. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, it's the white sponge. It's a dense sponge. A little bit of water, and it will take off anything. Paint,
Yes,
chrome, layers of varnish. I don't know. It's like a micro abrasive sponge that feels all soft on the skin, but you just one quick swipe and it takes it off everything. You can like carve through glass with it. It's amazing.
What a lot of people don't know, they assume it's embedded with some chemical. So when you get it wet, it interacts, and that's what does it. But it's like a 20,000 grit sandpaper because you actually can't use it on certain surfaces.
That's what it is.
I need to start maybe
so strong.
But I think I know a lot of people already know about them. I didn't really dig this one up from the kitchen's grave per se. But I just think to not have them stocked in your household at all times, you should. They're amazing. They can clean up so much stuff, and the ease of doing it, it's incredible. And we're still going with Virginia Little says, "Will they clean headstones?" Yeah, yes, they will. So you can read the recipe. Underkick. It's still going.
We're not done. It's going to continue.
We are not distracting the viewers. I'll dive into my overrated, and this is going to be controversial. And I know it is because I get in trouble in my household from Mrs. Weatherwatch for doing this. So I refuse to buy Kleenex or tissue paper because the house is full of toilet paper. So if I have to blow my nose, what happened?
You're going to start a world war. Right? This is the beginning of the end. This is where the original shot will be fired. Go ahead.
If I have to blow my nose, I'm just walking into the nearest bathroom, couple swabs of TP, blow the nose, I'm done. There's no need to go buy a whole separate box of tissue paper to have all over the house. And I get yelled at actually because we have a box next to our toilet, and I will still just use some TP to blow my nose, and I'll just walk right past the Kleenex box that's sitting there. It's double the paper. There's no point.
I will say 75% of the time I would agree with you, except when you have that lingering summertime cold, which are the worst. The ones that last for like 4 weeks, right?
And you need some aloe vera in your.
And you need. It's like the toilet paper becomes that magic scrub brush. And every time you put it up on your nose, you're just taking off layers of skin. And it's just red. And, it's practically just bleeding because you're missing all the layers of skin because that toilet paper is just like, it's like 20 grit to the face. I agree with that. That's when you need a little aloe, a little bit of a tender loving. Now the flip side of that is they lose pretty much all their absorption value. So you need to have like 6 of them just to catch it because, colds are rather productive. You can't just use a single tissue and expect it to do the job. But man, when you're down through the subcutaneous layers and exposed, muscle, fat, cartilage, that's the point where it's like I will take an aloe Kleenex any day over that.
So I will definitely. Okay, that's an exception. If I'm sick and I'm going through them, of course I would like that too. I'm on board. But for my day to day, I don't need it. And I've got some support in here. There's a lot of people, but this is actually my favorite comment. If I can scroll back, it's Kelly P. Of course, man says that. Yeah, okay, yeah, so I did.
this leads into my overrated. Okay. And that is, it's related closely to your nose blowing. As a matter of fact, it's nose blowing, but it's sans tissue, meaning without tissue. It's the whole the farmer blow. Not a thing. Don't do it. There is nowhere. There's no remote location far enough from civilized society that it is okay to just plug one nostril and give it your best to clear the other.
The golf course
It's
during
not wrong.
allergy season.
Nope. Can change my mind. It's no. Use your golf towel if you have to. use your shirt. But the farmer blow just.
So the golf course during allergy season, you'd rather put 3 ounces of nonsense in there and then ride around with it for the day than just fire it off into the grass?
I'm just saying I would. Nobody else should do it. I won't do it. Okay, I won't do it. You don't do it. We're all happy. It's just there's no point where we're just in civilized society talking to somebody and they do that and I'm like, oh, cool, awesome, that looked productive, good job. No,
in front of people? No way. No. I'm with you there. No chance.
Well, I don't even want to hear you did it when nobody was there. That's how wrong it is. It's just. Adam
Maybe
says,
I don't carry tissues.
What about underwater? That's different. That's different.
Oh, so you blow your nose in my pool, but you won't put it.
There's bleach. It's practically like a liquid tissue. It's no, I'm not invited to the pool party this weekend. Is that what you're saying?
Canceled. Yeah, you blow your nose in my pool. Next thing you know, you're going to pee in it.
Of course. No, I growing up there, my neighbors had a pool and had a big sign that says, "Welcome to our ool." Notice there's no pee in it. Let's keep it that way.
I love that. Actually, I'm going to find one of those on. Oh, I'm going to have Debbie create a bee, make me a sign with that.
She could do that. That would be awesome.
Red pen. How did we get here? It's the Not Relevant podcast. You never know where this thing's going to go.
We need to go back to the gravestone. The gravestone piece from the Snot Rockets. I apologize, but you brought up tissue. I guess I have to come up with an underrated as well. If that was my overrated.
Sleeves, I'm guessing.
Changeable sleeves. I want it to be something that's not about tissue. Underrated.
It's been a week. You might as well put in something really grotesque just to
no. We're trying to redeem. There has to be redeeming value. Like overall, if I'm bringing the average down every time I contribute, at some point people are like, "Look, I'm done." Right? I'm done with.
Yeah.
I will say this. I realize we all have, most of us have amazing technology and have the ability to grab a cup from the cabinet and walk over to our fridge and press it into the little slot in the wall, and perfectly prepared, crystal clear, cool water will come out. There's something to be said about traditional ice cubes. Traditional ice cubes, not the ones these mass produced, but the ones you've frozen. They've frozen from the outside in, and in a tray, and you've cracked them and dumped them out. Those ice cubes, they're colder. They do a better job. I realize, physics wise, I think a round ice cube would be a better job. That's like the whiskey ice. That's probably a better thing. But a traditional ice cube tray that you've filled up with water and carefully balanced across the kitchen and slid into the freezer, and then waited the mandatory 3 days or whatever it is for it to fully form, and then cracked and that in a cup of lemonade is just spot on. It makes it. That's going to be my underrated, like homemade ice.
So I can get on board with that. I agree. It's the cleanest because you control the water you use. The stuff that comes from the fridge, your filter's almost dead, but you don't know it. It's half filtered out. But the only problem is, and I saw the comment, bam, right there. No traditional ice cubes, only Sonic ice.
You're talking about the pebble ice?
The pellets, yeah. And I have a gas station around the corner that sells it in big bags. So I have at all times 3 bags in my freezer.
Sonic's the brand, or is this
Sonic's the restaurant, the fast food restaurant?
The restaurant, this type of ice they use.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Doesn't it melt too fast though? it's like a softer ice than, I mean, those the traditional freeze it yourself ice cubes, they're like granite. You try to crunch on one of those in your mouth and you're losing a tooth.
Mhm.
But the Sonic ice is just like it's almost ready to just give up already and just be like powder or turn to mush the second you start chewing on it. And I'm cool with chewing that ice, but I like a cube that has some strength. Maybe
Because
it's
the
the ice.
caveat is when your drink is almost down, you start crunching the ice and you're just chewing on a little slushy. But I'm with you from your prior comment. That would probably not be the ideal ice to put in your whiskey for those that would drink whiskey or any adult beverage. It would be destroyed right away.
There's actually a market for kitchen accessories that allow you to make the perfect ice cube, whether it's a round, a sphere. You want an ice cube with like no bubbles, perfect round. The shape's fine. The clarity is there. It's an art form.
I've seen it. It's a metal, like a brass caster, and you do it, and then you slowly put the topper on it, and it's not warm, it's just room temperature, but it melts the first layer of the ball of cube off, and it's the most clear and perfect. I actually have 2 of those rubber ones. Mrs. Weatherwatch gave them to. I haven't used them. I don't know where they are, but you fill them up, put them in, and you pull them out, and they're supposed to be nice, clear, perfect ice cubes. But I better go find those tonight, I guess.
Okay, so just go to like all $1 and buy one of those traditional ice cube trays and make your gourmet ice and then make the old one, and you just tell me which one's better, because it's not just nostalgia. I'm just saying that the early 70s they perfected the ice cube tray, and that is the best one.
Hey, I'm with you. Every time I go back home to visit my dad, and I always forget, but I open the freezer, the ice cube maker is full of like meat and everything else, and there's 2 old school trays stacked on the top shelf right there with ice cubes, and that's
precariously they're frozen, so they're slanted.
This
goes right into one of my pet peeves, and this is if you're taking something out of the fridge or the freezer specifically, say like you have a box of Mrs. Area, if you could turn the volume up a little bit for this, if you have a box of say like taquitos, and you take the last taquitos out of the box, you've got to read the box to see how to cook it, so you know it's empty because you've picked it up. You don't put the box back in the freezer when you're done. You don't just put the empty box in there for a space saver, a holder. I cannot tell you how many times I've been, you know what would be really good right now? I saw we've got a box of, Unos or taquitos. This was RA. Stealing my book. Okay, go ahead. You're on camera. But how many times I've gone to the freezer and be like, this is the one thing I'm craving, and I've opened it up only to find that it's actually just garbage. It's just the cardboard box, the shell of what used to be empty ice cube, or not empty ice cube, but yes, empty ice cube trays. You take all the ice cube trays and then you put the tray back in there, like that's going to do any good? Like ice just magically forms. Empty ice cream containers. I don't know where they learned this, Mrs. RA. This might be you, because I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
I am so on board with you. That happens here all the time. Our daughter, she will just cook herself something. The box goes right to the fridge. Like she doesn't even know we own a trash can apparently. Because I will go in and same with you, taquitos or something. I'll go, oh. Well, and I noticed when I pull it out, 2 other empty boxes will tumble behind it, and I don't know how long they've been in there, and it drives me nuts.
Crazy.
Throw it away.
Man. I have to probably apologize for my kids for outing them on YouTube for their bad habits regarding freezer maintenance and food, etiquette.
Mine doesn't watch me, just makes fun of me for doing this. So I'm in the safe. I can out her all I want.
Oh man. Oh, what a day. I'm ready for the weekend. I'm ready for that ice. I'm probably going to be picking up a sponge and cleaning things. Now my grill, because you've shamed me about the state of my grill. I do clean my grill before I cook, but here's what I do. I cook, and then I turn all the heat all the way up, and I crank the heat to like 650 degrees to burn it off. Okay, it's like, and then I leave it there. I turn the gas off and I leave it to cool down because it's too hot to do anything at that point. And then the next week, when I remember I want to cook again, I then have to do the scraping off of all the the ashes, because there's no food left at that point. It's like crematorium level cleansed. It's everything has burned off. So that's when I just have to do the cleaning. I put it on the front end of cooking instead of on the back end. But either way, when I cook, the grill is clean and it's ready to go.
Doesn't matter when it happens, just if it happens.
But then Dutch ovens are different. You don't clean those. I've heard that some people just rinse them and they're good to go, and it just adds to the seasoning, the flavor over time.
Yeah, no dish soap. Can't go that route. Got to leave it as is. But what a week! And you finished off with crematorium left on your grill, coming back from our graveyard recipes. Everything goes full circle. So,
We still
there it is.
We still have suggestions coming in for the cookbook.
It's never going to end.
From cooking from the grave.
I can't wait to see what happens in the comment section over the weekend of people coming back in.
Oh man, there's going to be some great ideas. I expect to see somebody take this and run with it, and when they do, just credit the podcast that this was the inspiration for your multi-billion-dollar enterprise about gravestone recipes.
I feel like there's been some clips in Cachette. No, we're not back to recipe names. We're getting ready. We're getting ready to wrap up whatever leftovers we have from the grave.
Six courses from 6 feet under. Oh,
we could go on and on and on and on.
Yeah, good stuff. Well,
Scott, I'm tuckered.
It's been a day and a half. It really has. I feel like I've been live streaming for 12 hours. Oh, look, it's 9:30. That's what I've been doing. It's been 12 hours of fun. Really, it's been a fantastic day. As far as that goes, it's a big win. But man, I am tired. Tomorrow morning I'm going to go meet with. I told you about the Homestead to Hardware channel on YouTube.
Yep.
Neighbor of mine. I'm going to go meet with her and see if we can get her set up. She wants to live stream her cows, which are just awesome. And they're having calves and everything. It would just be awesome. I think people would really enjoy that. Just having it on the background or something. So we're going to work with her for the hardware, seeing what she needs to make that happen. Going to start talking about doing some stuff around town, live streaming some city meetings and things like that for the folks that need that. And so my day's pretty full, and then any spare time, I've got to get the sponge out, clean the grill, and then work in the Airbnb. So that's where it goes. And if I have any time left over and I can go metal detecting, around every gravestone, I'm going to be like, what if there's a recipe there? I'm not saying I'm metal detecting graveyards. That the optics of that are really bad. Even in states where it's legal, because it is legal in many states to metal detect there, but it just looks bad when you're going for the target and you break out the shovel and you're like, there's something right here. It's a little deeper. Yeah, it's a tooth. it's still in use. Go figure.
But hey, here's a recipe. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play a little bit of golf in the morning, and then I'm gonna go buy a box of Kleenex since I got yelled at by 20 people. So that'll be it for me.
That'll be awesome. Wonderful. Thomas, as always, it's a blast. This is so much fun. This is episode number 22. So we've made it through 3 weeks worth of back-to-back episodes if it were a daily thing.
We have. I enjoy it. Scott, you're such a trooper to stream all week, all day, and then you have a 20-minute break and say, hey, I'm going to do a nearly 2-hour podcast on a Friday night, especially when your family's even out of town. So
there's nowhere else I would rather be. Obviously, I'm home. I say that because my family's here. I get to see them and talk about this afterwards. But this is so much fun. This community, you, Thomas, you are a great friend. I thank you over and over. You are amazing. The comedy in chat is gold. I mean, I think laughing adds years to your life. I think I would live forever after today's episode. It was so good.
I do this for the chat. Absolutely. And Scott, thanks for agreeing to do this too. We have fun every week, and I hope you have a great weekend. I'm looking forward to your streams next week. And then I believe, minor spoiler alert, we'll be streaming all week on your channel. And then next Friday's podcast, I do think we are going to have Brandy and JT as guests to join us next Friday's podcast. So,
we want nothing big to happen in court that they have to live stream that night. So let's pray that all the schedules align up. Randy and JT are some of our favorite people on YouTube. They have amazing podcasts, amazing channels themselves, and can't wait to just talk and shoot the breeze. And maybe you guys can ask us all questions about things we've learned and need to learn. In my case, when it comes to YouTube. But thank you very much. I'm gonna go to bed. I got up at 3:30 this morning and I'm super tired. First, I'm going to eat breakfast, and then I'm going to go to bed. That's
Thank you, everyone in chat, for your commentary, your comments, your comedy, your input, and just being here on a Friday night with us. It's what we look forward to doing and have so much fun with you. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend.
Yep. We'll see you.